Good afternoon and welcome to the 14th week of Get Hooked on Strategy with me, LT. And this is the weekly check-in that we do in under 10 minutes or less to turn strategy into a habit and not a chore. So this week is special because we have passed quarter one. I have managed to live up to my commitment for an entire quarter. I think this is the 14th episode. So that's a huge milestone for me. And so what I want to do is talk about kind of revisit the first intro episode and talk about what it is that I'm trying to do here. Why am I here? If you find yourself watching this video, why are you watching these videos? So this was my commitment to myself to get hooked on strategy and make strategy part of my daily operations, a little bit of thinking everything that I do for my business, tying it back to strategy, which then aligns everything back to my mission, vision, and values. And I have seen that a lot of small businesses and especially startups don't have time to learn how to do this, don't realize the importance of this. Even some large companies who are held to the old style of doing strategic planning, which is in 1 year or quarterly 6 months intervals, really aren't implementing a flexible daily approach that can help them, instead of putting the strategic plan aside for several weeks and then coming to it and being overwhelmed by the tasks involved and then saying, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Why are we doing this? This is more work than the actual product that it's coming out of it. So we want to turn it into habit so that it doesn't become a burden. It becomes something that is creates enthusiasm, that keeps driving motivation and keeps us moving forward. And we implement the check-ins that let us look back and see that this is working, that it is helping. So for quarter one last week, we talked about looking at what were the accomplishments for the last quarter. And I realized that I had done many, many things. I have a daily to-do list that's tied back and incorporated with the strategic plan. I have my action plans, still working on 3 of them, going right on schedule. And one of them I discontinued because it didn't fit. I'm meeting and exceeding my financial goals, so that's awesome. I have a photography show coming up, which is kind of a side gig business, but business nonetheless and part of my plans. And so I feel that this is really very much working. And I do think that if it's something that you're not doing, that you should. And I'm trying to deliver all the tools that you need to do it. And I apologize for my shaky table here. So again, who's this for? This is for me. This is my commitment, like I said, to myself. And the reason that I'm doing these videos is to make it accountable. And then also the way that I teach business to organizations and startups is that we need to follow the role model way. How are the long-term big hitters doing things? And one of the things that they do is share freely and openly. So I am sharing. And if I'm going to check in and spend the time to do this, I may as well share what I've got with you. And so if you are, like I said, just starting out and haven't really tackled a strategy, I've got all the pieces here for you. You just have to pull them down and customize them to yourself and your needs. So what I usually do in these videos is switch over to screen share, which I'll do right now. And then I go over and take a look at my calendar to see what we have. And so this calendar is something that you can download. And actually, you don't really download it. You will request access from me. I'll grant you access to your email, and then you can copy these tasks over to your own calendar. And then you can just move them around. They're easy to just grab and just pull them, put them wherever you'd like to have them. We've gotten beyond our annual startup when things are hitting pretty heavy on the to-do list for the strategic plan. So that's one of the things, too, about making it a habit is there will be times when there are lots to do, and there'll be times when there's little bits to do. And in the time in between, when there's little bits to do as far as the actual strategic plan, we're continuing our action plans and our daily to-do list, which are all tied back to the overall strategic plan. I have seen articles and I see businesses talk about whether a task or a project or something is at strategic plan level. I believe everything is strategic plan level. Where you fit it into the strategic plan is what varies. And so this is the blank template that you can download, and it has all of the steps that you would typically do. And you can change these around to fit your needs, change the words of them if your business has a specific way of calling something. Most of these 3 first categories happen within the first quarter of the year. For me, anyway, again, you can do it however you want. And then you put in the different frequencies for checking back in on these things. Again, this is about making it a habit where we're doing the full-blown task once, maybe twice a year, and then we're doing check-ins in between so that when it comes time to do the full-blown activity, we're not killing ourselves starting from scratch and not having thought about it for 6 months to a year. And so that's what this middle section is about. And we put those back onto the calendar, which I've just shown you, and that's what dates are in here. You find each one of these from the task list is tied to an event on the calendar. And that's how we also make it a habit where we have reminders set up on the calendar. We don't have to spend a lot of time trying to figure out where we're at in the strategic plan. Our calendar that we're checking every day, every week on these Mondays will tell us. And 10 minutes a week is not much to spend. If you want to lose weight, you have to do the check-ins. You have to make it a habit as well. Any long-term goals that you set for yourself personally or in your business, you need a strategy. And then the best way to make it happen is to make it a habit. So we're not doing anything crazy here. This isn't innovative. It's just the way things are today. And so there's a great article that I will share in the description for the YouTube video when this is posted tomorrow. The reason, like how to hold yourself accountable. So that's where you find, why am I doing this video? Be in the right mindset. I'd like to have lots of people checking in and all us doing this together so that we have a collaborative mindset, a positive mindset. We can encourage each other and ask how that 6 months of action plans have been going and celebrate our little milestones. And so that's part of it. And then making it a priority. This is exactly like number one, what we're doing here. Step number 3, have an accountability buddy. Making this public to the world is my accountability buddy. Everybody and anyone who sees an announcement for this or checks in with me or even watches the video after it's been posted, you are my accountability buddy. And then educate yourself on the goal. So this is also what I'm doing. I assign homework every week. If I don't know something or if I need to improve something, we go back and do it. Learning is, again, a huge part of what role model organizations do. And we have to learn continuously. And having these check-ins lets us, again, learn little bits at a time always, instead of, like I said, waiting until the annual activity or putting everything on hold and then saying, oh, I don't know how to do this. And there's 17 things that you need to learn instead of you just learned 17 things over the last 3 to 6 months. So this is mine. I want to show you really quickly what it looks like filled out. I have, as you see, January, February, March is when all the heavy hitting major tasks are completed. And that just means that this is when I really take the time, an hour or two for each one of these tasks, and make sure that they're done completely and wholly, and then set up my action plans for the next year. And then I go into review mode. So for the next several months, I don't have a lot of really hard, long activities to do, but I have a lot of check-ins, especially at each quarter, monthly. So there's a few things that happen at the end of the week, and there's a few things that happen monthly or quarterly. And then in the meantime, I'm learning. I'm carrying out my action plans. I'm checking things off my daily to-do list that are tied to those. So you see how they all roll back up into this. And I have tools. Productivity tools are a must-have, and it's another thing that you need to keep learning. Bringing on new tools, new automations. There's so much technology out there and things that make things easier. I'm constantly doing free trials, and that's what I think I can bring another benefit to this, is by doing some free trials myself and giving my feedback on them to help you plan going forward. So since I don't have all these huge tasks to do, and our calendar, as I've shown you, looks a little bit like, oh, end of the week budget check, end of the week budget check, end of the week budget check. And then at the end of the month, there's a few other tasks to review, but none to start from scratch. So I think that you'll see from me in the next couple of months are some free trials that I'll be doing and talking about. And I think that'll be beneficial to all of us, because I'll continue the learning and the sharing. And I hope that that will encourage you to tune in as well, so you can kind of let me learn for you and share what I've learned. So save us all some time. So thank you for tuning in. Please share this if you know someone who is a business owner, is thinking about starting a business, somebody that is struggling in their business. Let them know that I am here trying to give out this free information and share what I have and the tools that I have. And that's my 10 minutes for today. And I'm going to go back to doing what I do, and I'll see you hopefully next week. Thanks. Have a great day.